If you're an individual that is looking to get the absolute most out of your life by being a leader in your business, in your marriage, in your friendships, or just in your overall life, then this is the video for you. So today we're really going to dive into 4 main values that I see that in order to be successful in my life, that these values are the ones that really drive me home. And what I mean by drive home, it really gives me the root to grow from. And I find that these 4 values are the critical components that give me the foundation to really continue to find success in multiple areas of my life. So let's define success. Is it money? Is it happiness? Is it whatever? When I'm defining success is my ability and liberty to be able to do the things that I enjoy and that I want, and also have a positive influence on the other people that are around myself, from family to children to co-workers to other coaching. It's these 4 values that really push the envelope for me, that allows me to continue to grow into the individual that I want to. So let's dive into them. For anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Rob Sumner, owner of Sumner Specialized Physical Therapy and Specialized Strength. I really do these videos because there's a ton of people out there in pain or are struggling through their life, and I don't want you to be one of them. So if you're receiving any bit of value from this video, I truly am thankful if you share that with me, so that I know that these videos are making an impact in your life. So let's fire away. So again, 4 values that I feel that any individual needs to acquire to truly find success in their life. So let's go with number 1. Number 1 is that self-accountability. And it really starts by getting up early, rising early. The self-accountability is your ability to do what's better for you now that helps your future self. And it also allows you to focus in on what you need to without interruption, so that you can get the most out of your own life. So let's give you an example. Getting up at 4, 5 in the morning, I see as critical. And the reason it's critical is because when everybody else is sleeping and you're able to get work done 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, before the sun even comes up, you're already ahead. And it's guaranteed time. Rarely do you get up interrupted at 4 in the morning because you have a fire that you need to put out, or you have a concern from a family member or a friend or other. It's your dedicated time that you can attack the things that you need to be successful. But that truly starts by going to bed at a consistent time. If you're an individual that likes to burn the midnight oil, well, here's the thing. If you keep going to bed late and getting up early, you're going to be out of sort. You're going to zap all of your energy. You're going to be fatigued all the time, and you can't be efficient with what you need to. So to get up at 4 in the morning, you've got to get to bed consistently on the same time. And that doesn't mean that, well, during the week, I'm going to, go to bed at the right time, but on the weekends, I'm going to stay up super late and do everything that I want. Well, that's going to put your body out of rhythm as well, and it ain't going to work. You might be able to fake yourself for a while, but eventually you get burned down, you get tired, you get fatigued, and then you get frustrated. So it's self-accountability. Can you do it? Do you compromise with yourself? Do you compromise? Or do you have discipline to continue to do what you need to do? Because inside your head, I've talked about this multiple times, you have this governor that tries to fake you out of it. Just sleep in. You're fine. Just keep resting. You don't need to go to bed now. You don't need to eat that. You can do what you want. It's really that voice that sits on your shoulder that tells you all the things that you might want to hear, but they don't help you. So overall, it's really important that you listen to yourself, not your governor. But here's the funny thing with it. You'll hear people say, well, gosh, how do you get so much done in a day? And how do you find the energy for all these things? And here's the fact. If you sleep good consistently, you eat good foods, you exercise, you're going to have energy. I mean, just simply hydrating your body to the levels that you need by drinking a full jug of water like I have here, by eating whole foods, starting there, just eliminating processed foods and eating whole foods, foods that can be grown in the garden or animals, and you cook yourself, it's amazing the energy you start having. So sleep, nutrients, and water. Just do that consistently, and all of a sudden, boom, you're getting energy. It's amazing the difference it makes in people's lives. So, but it takes that self-accountability. So one of the top values to find success in your life is you have to be accountable to yourself. You have to be. So number 2, second value, never stop growing. In order to have business success, you really have to have personal success. So your personal growth needs to happen first before your business growth or professional growth. So what I mean by that is we are all born with certain deficiencies. We have different issues and traumas from growing up, and we have to figure out what those are and how they hold us back in our lives. You know, for me, wasn't always the best communicator. Still, at times, I'm not the best communicator. I didn't grow up with a family that really communicated a ton. When you had different issues, you just kind of dealt with them yourself. There wasn't a lot of dialogue and openness of, hey, I'm really struggling with XYZ. And with that too, you didn't, when you were mad at somebody or frustrated somebody, you just kind of ignored it. You never really talked to them about it. You just kind of kept moving forward, which then creates problems in my own life personally, with my wife, with my children, that if I'm upset and I'm not expressing it, and we're not able to find in a healthy way how to communicate it, then that just builds up. And it leads to either disgruntledness because people aren't doing what you want them to do, or you're expecting them to do things that haven't been communicated. So to me, it's been a development of trying to work on my communication to make sure that one, whether in my business, am I being clear on my expectations? If I'm not being clear on my expectations and people aren't doing what I'm needing them to do for them to be successful, then shame on me. That's my communication fault. So working on my own personal process, development, reading, constantly seeking, as my wife likes to call them, self-help books. I tell them that they're self-improvement. They're self-improvement, not self-help. Don't label them like that. But the process really is just to try and improve your life, to find where your holes are and plug them, to better yourself so that now you could advance better as a human. So before you have any type of professional growth, you need to really seek out personal growth. Fill your holes. Putty those holes. And then you could advance into business growth. How do you communicate with people? How do you set up organizational charts? How do you train, onboard? How do you do all the tactical things that help businesses be successful? That's where the learning comes secondary. Because if you can't fill your own holes and your own personal issues, then you're going to be an inconsistent person. And I don't know anybody that wants to work with or for somebody that's inconsistent. You never know what you're getting. You never know what to expect. And it just leads to real burnout and frustration. So number 2, don't stop growing. Always grow. Keep growing. That's my number 2. Number 3, you've got to have a servant attitude. Now, look at leaders. Look at leaders all the time. Why do certain people get chose to be the class president or the captain of the football team or the, pep rally lead? Yeah, I made that one up. That's not my strong area. But my point is that leaders present themselves, not because they talk the most, not because they are intimidating. They lead because they're servants. Leaders serve. And they fill a void in somebody else's life that people see, man, great. They're going to do a great job at this. They're going to be a person that's going to help us because they've already done it in our lives already. And that's who people want the leaders to be, servants. And what I mean by servant is that you're so empathetic towards other people that you're already trying to take care and fix their problems before they even know that they're problems. That's what a leader will do. It will shoulder that burden of, I'm gonna make life better for you. And they do it through a servant attitude, which then inspires people to follow them, to listen to them, to join them. So it's important that you have that servant attitude. It's really hard to be a leader without a servant attitude. It really is. So I heard this, might have been on Instagram or a reel or something at one point, that if you're only willing to do the work that you're getting paid for, you're never going to get paid more than what you're doing. And I see this in a work culture now as like, well, I'm not getting paid for that, I'm not doing it. Fine. That's a different kind of mindset. But we're not even talking about business right now. If you're not willing to do more than what you're getting paid for, you're never going to get paid more than what you're doing. And that's really a life philosophy. If you don't put enough into your relationship, if you're only putting enough into your relationship with your wife, eventually it burns out. You have to put more into your relationship than what you're getting out of it. And you have to do it consistently, because you know what? Then your spouse truly appreciates you. They see it. Then you have a cohesive, loving relationship because you consistently put more into it than expected, than you're getting paid for. Same thing with your kids. You get home at the end of the day, I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. Hey, I know you want to play, but I'm not going to play. Just go do your own thing. Go play on your computer or something. I'm tired. I had a long day at work. Hey, kids don't care. The only thing kids care about is time. Dad's home. I want to do something with them. And if you're too tired for them, you're not doing more than what you're getting paid for. So all of a sudden now they're teenagers and they're older and they're not giving you the time of day. You got to put it in, what you want out, and some. So do more than what you're paid for. And it pays dividends because people are reciprocal in nature. They want to give to people that give to them. You consistently give and give and give and give and give and give and give. People feel guilty about that, and it's not about guilt, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying give so much to people that it makes them uncomfortable. But then don't ask. Don't ask. They want to do nice things in general as a consequence of you just being kind-hearted. So give more always than you get, and it will pay you dividends. It will pay you dividends. And that goes to number 4, which is absolute ownership. You have to have absolute ownership in your life to get the most out of it. You have to essentially beat the victim out of your mind. Anything that happens in your life is your fault. Anything that happens in my life is my fault. Anything that happens in these businesses, my fault. And to think anything otherwise now makes you a victim, which makes you incapable of actually making a solution. It doesn't allow you to do the work because it's always somebody else's fault. So taking absolute ownership in your personal life, in your marriage, in your relationship with your kids, in how the dog treats you, your business, your professional development, everything is your fault. Because you can influence your own life. It's your life. You can influence your own life. But will you do the work to do it? Because it's way easier to play victim. It's way easier to say, well, if so-and-so wouldn't have done this. Well, what did you do to inspire them not to do that? Take extreme ownership, absolute ownership over everything that you do in your life. Any negative that comes your way, own it. Own it, and then grow from it. And continue to advance to a point where you can move forward in your life positively. So overall, these four are the main ones I have for you today to help advance your life successfully, whether it's relationships and raising your kids, your business, your personal development, professional development. These all help. These core values. Again, I'll recap them. Self-accountability. You got to have accountability to yourself to truly grow. 2, never stop growing. Never stop. Personally and professionally, you got to grow personally first, then professionally. Number 3, you got to have a servant attitude. Serve others, and leadership comes. Serve others, and you'll get way more than you give. You will. And the 4th one, absolute ownership. Everything that happens in your life is your fault. So take ownership of it, learn from it, and grow. So all in all, these 4 values I see absolutely are instrumental in my own life, and I look to all of them to put in the necessary steps so that I can find the success that I want in any attribute of my life. So all in all, again, my name is Rob Sumner, Sumner Specialized Physical Therapy and Specialized Strength. I hope this video served you well. I hope you found value in this video. And if you did, hit subscribe on either one of the platforms you're watching on YouTube, or possibly on our podcast, any of the sites that you found there. And then leave us a review too. And this shares with other people to give them the idea how to get something that was valuable to you now comes to them. So thanks again for your time, and I look forward to talking to you next time.